More migrants coming to Denver, and city leaders are asking for help. Mayor Michael Hancock declared a state of emergency yesterday as hundreds are being housed now in those rec centers.
Jessica Crawford joins us live outside Union Station. And Jessica, you talked to a state agency that helped settle thousands of Ukrainian and Afghan refugees. Are they getting involved in this situation?
Well, the Colorado Refugee Services Program tells me that they're not involved in this particular situation because the migrants aren't considered refugees. They did refer me, though, to the Office of New Americans, and we are still waiting to hear back from them. In the meantime, the governor has requested more money for things like shelters, which could be a good thing for Denver, which has already spent about $800,000 trying to handle this situation as migrants continue to pour into our city. Also, Denver has declared a state of emergency. They did that yesterday. It'll help free up more resources and funding without having to go through the usual expenditure approval process. Right now, hundreds of migrants are housed in 2 rec centers. A third is being used as a welcoming center. And Mayor Michael Hancock said Denver is in this situation because of Congress's failure to act.
This is, I can tell you, as challenging of an immediate circumstance as we have seen in our city. We ask our federal officials, put aside politics, address this issue of immigration. It is at a crisis point right now, and cities all over this country are being faced to deal with something that we're not equipped to deal with.
And there is a way that you can help. They're looking for clothes, shoes, hygiene items for people of all genders and all ages. They're also looking for volunteers as well as more space to house people in temporary shelters. So if you have any of that, you can reach out to the Office of Emergency Management, and that number is 720-865-7600. In downtown Denver, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Thank you, Jessica. A federal judge in Texas is preserving one Trump-era immigration measure as another is set to end soon. The so-called Remain in Mexico policy prevents migrants seeking asylum from waiting in the U.S. during that process. The Supreme Court initially ruled President Biden had the authority to end it, but it sent the case back to a lower court. The Texas judge ruled against the White House yesterday on a procedural level.
Title 42 is set to end next Wednesday, despite 19 GOP states asking an appeals court to keep it in place. That policy dates back to the Trump administration. It uses pandemic concerns to allow federal immigration officials to swiftly deport migrants back to their home countries. Now, the Department of Homeland Security unveiled a 6-point plan to prepare for the expected migrant surge once that Title 42 is lifted. That plan includes more hiring and increasing processing efficiency. Well, speaking of efficiency, the U.S. immigration court system's backlog is at an all-time high right now. A Syracuse University analysis found there are more than 2 million cases that are pending. The top 3 areas are Miami, Houston, and Los Angeles. A large portion of these are for people seeking asylum whose wait times for their cases to be heard can be, get this, over 4 years long.
Breaking overnight, a woman is hospitalized with serious injuries after she was shot in a road rage incident in Wheat Ridge. Police there shared a photo of the scene. This is at 38th Avenue, just east of Wadsworth, but the suspect is still out there this morning. Authorities say the suspect shot through the back of the victim's vehicle, hitting the woman who was a passenger. Police say the suspect's car is a black sedan, but had no other information about it. The woman who was left in the back of a police car then hit by a train in Platteville will be back in court just an hour from now. Yareni Rios-Gonzalez is facing a felony menacing charge. She allegedly pointed a gun at a man during a road rage incident. That's what led to her initial arrest and is the reason she was in that patrol car when it was hit by a train in September. That incident captured on body camera video. 2 officers are facing charges for leaving Rios-Gonzalez in the car.
The City of Denver's Basic Income Project is hitting a milestone. Denverite reports the program has now handed out $1 million directly to almost 700 people experiencing homelessness. The city started accepting those applications for that program just last month. There were 820 spots. 520 households will get $12,000 over the course of a year, while the other 300 will receive $600 as a control to measure the effectiveness of that program. Researchers at the University of Denver's Center for Housing and Homelessness will then study the effects of those direct payments.
Well, speaking of the city's housing crisis, an update to a story I told you about in September. Boulder Valley School District's students are now officially on their way to building modular homes for the city. The Boulder Daily Camera reports the Boulder City Council unanimously approved annexing about 48 acres on Arapahoe Road for a factory where students will build homes with the help of Habitat for Humanity. The video you see here is from students at the Boulder Technical Education Center's construction program. The first homes built once the factory is up and running are set to be used for the redevelopment of the Ponderosa Mobile Home Park in Boulder.
Avalanche danger has been high already this season, but there are steps you can take to protect yourself if the worst happens while you're out in the backcountry. There's an avalanche beacon training park outside of the White River National Forest. It's now open for the season. They host a class there where you can learn how to use life-saving devices like beacons that can help find people buried under snow if an avalanche occurs. We've got more information up on denver7.com. Skiers at A-Basin can try out the new Lenawee Express lift today. It's a high-speed 6-chair lift designed to reduce lines and crowding. Previously, it would take you 9 to 10 minutes to get to the top. Now it will take just 4 minutes. A-Basin opens at 9.
A group of local artists may have to cancel several upcoming performances and events after one of their stages was stolen, but you can help them.
Yeah, the stage itself, so they wouldn't have anything to perform on. So take a look at your screen. You might have seen the Handsome Little Devils crew perform on this stage at the Tour de Fat in Fort Collins or at the Cherry Creek Arts Festival. Well, that stage was stolen Saturday night right outside their studio, not far from Colfax and Wadsworth in Lakewood. It's a huge blow for these performers.
For us, it has enabled us to bring artists from all over the world to perform in front of very diverse audiences in all sorts of cities across the country. We've toured with that stage since 2015, and it's hundreds of thousands of people have seen shows on this stage. During the pandemic, what it enabled us to do is employ performing artists.
So we have set up a Denver 7 Gives Fund if you're interested in helping them out. All you have to do, go to denver7.com, click on the Denver 7 Gives tab, and select Helping Handsome Little Devils.
Well, we're wrapping up our 12 scams of Christmas this morning. So far this month, we've covered scams including gift card scams, puppy scams. Today, it's fake charities. Yes, it is the season of giving, but before you donate any money, the Better Business Bureau says do some research.
Look for copycat names, make sure you're on the right website, and be wary of those appeals at the mall, at the shopping center, at the store. Don't give in to those high pressure tactics of a donation on the spot.
You can verify that a charity is real on the website give.org or on the Colorado Secretary of State's website. You can also see how much that charity actually pays to the beneficiary.
Well, speaking of giving, it's not too late to get a Christmas tree thanks to a local company. Front Range Gardens in Broomfield is giving away about 150 trees this year for all you procrastinators out there. Well, trees of all sizes are going to be available, small tabletop trees all the way up to the 6 feet tall trees. Front Range Gardens is open Monday through Friday.